Well, this morning's speakers were great. Scott was great this morning. I mean, the energy they brought was awesome, and Dave was, I mentioned to you just a little bit ago, it was like a dump of information. It was great. The people that are here, awesome. People at my table, I mean, really great information. Great to learn about their mistakes. The little round table was awesome to set up, the mistakes and the things that work, and some of the things that they're planning too. We've been talking. Everyone at the table at lunchtime has been talking about what are we going to do next, and where do we go now. So it's great to be alongside all these entrepreneurs that are thinking about what's the next step. What have we done? Learn from the mistakes, celebrate what's great, and then take the next step. For myself, the reinforcement of disclosure in the corporate culture. That's one main thing. It really drove home that that's something that's going to help my company be more successful. And also investigating or researching more and learning more about the things that have been presented today by the various speakers we heard this morning, and seeing how they might be able to fit into our environment and in creating a better corporate culture for us to move forward, to take the next step and beyond. One great thing that out of the panel that I got was, you can't just establish a culture and let it evolve, because even though it's becoming those people, talking about what Dave said, you create tribes and they separate. And they could separate and deviate from what the original goal was or original culture was. Try to maintain and recheck and realign occasionally, because you're going to lose what you had. And our company's a little bit older, my company's a little bit older, and I think we may have done that at some point along the line. So now it's time to a little bit of a reset and realignment and point at a different target.
I was talking to your co-organizer Eric earlier, and he asked me if I was having a good time, and I have never been, quite honestly, I've never been to a conference of this caliber before. It's absolutely fantastic, just to be in a room with so many smart, intelligent, and driven people who are purely focused on the betterment of their organization, not only in a business sense, but their employees and how their employees interact with each other. So we are an early stage startup, and we're down in Palo Alto. We're just getting ramped up. And the most important thing I've learned, especially from the roundtable discussions, is you need to focus on your culture early. And there have been a slew of amazing tips and tricks, but the overwhelming thing is get started early and really define your culture.
I've loved the conference so far. It's been great. I think what I've most enjoyed, both the speakers certainly, but I've loved the roundtables. I love sharing information with people that are from similar industries but come from a shared perspective of really building on culture. I think the one takeaway would be just how important culture is. I think we have acknowledged that in our own organization, but it's wonderful just to hear across multiple areas, multiple groups, how many people value culture and its importance internally versus externally.
We're sponsoring it because I think it's a unique event. There are very few places where you find this many high-quality CEOs of creative technology firms together talking about a subject that actually is really important, which is corporate culture. So it was almost a no-brainer. The people involved are super high quality, including the organizers, and the collection of both attendees and speakers is pretty unique. You just don't find it anywhere else. So it's something that we really wanted to be associated with and be involved in. Two things. One, as a sponsor, it's a great place to get our name and our brand out and talk to people who would be likely consumers of Ripple, and do it in an organic fashion. Make it feel that we're not banging people over the head. It's not commercialized. It's not cheesy. It's actually just really helpful and educational. And the second is, as a CEO of a creative technology firm who cares about culture, I'm actually taking a lot of value from the sessions, right? Things that are reminders that you need to talk to yourself about, talk to your team about, helpful tips, inspiration inspiration from people who've done it before. I would also say it's not just from the people who are up on stage or the panelists, but also the people sitting around the table with you at the same time. I go to conferences all the time. There are very, very few who are like this in terms of quality of and level of conversation, and where as a CEO of a technology firm that's fast growing, where you can find other people who are facing similar challenges. Most of these conferences are about, what's your sales conversion? How are you hiring? What are you doing about like website optimization? What do you know about the technology? Which is awesome. But, this thing, the people and how you motivate them and how you build a culture that's enduring and useful and meaningful, that's a conversation that doesn't happen. If it does happen, it's at the corner or outside of most other technology conferences, and this is the center of this one. And that's special and unique, and I'm really happy that I'm here.
Yeah, I think one of the things I really enjoyed was the speaker lineup is a very, very powerful one, where the speakers are people who've either studied culture and kind of building organizations, or more importantly have actually done it for many years and have grown 1,000-person plus organizations. So I think that's really important to have the right speakers with the right experience and the right sort of domain expertise talking about it, and getting a group of people together who can participate and sort of take those ideas to the next level in the roundtables. I think that's been really great about the conference. Yeah, I really enjoyed Chip Conley's speech. I think when he talks about kind of Maslow's hierarchy of needs and then mapping that to the organization, of developing employees through getting them to first solve their basic needs, and then moving them to recognition and kind of focusing on their career, to finally getting to self-actualization. It's been really a great thing to kind of think about how I can use that for my organization. Yeah, I think one of the things I think is really important that relates to what Chip was talking about is really defining what your mission is for people in the organization. And I think different parts of my organization, which is kind of a consumer software company, each part of our organization, for example, engineers to product to the artist to customer service, requires different types of sort of goals or moving up Maslow's hierarchy of how does that function, and how do people in that function become more self-actualized in their work, and it differs from different groups. So that's been a lot of interesting things to think about.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Sure.